The topics we discuss are many.
No story too bold to talk about.
Strictly our own opinions.
But they are opinions from people like you.
Welcome to the Naked Podcast.
I'm still waiting on Dr. Horrible's Sing Along Belong 2. Hey, it's Kielyn.
Who just killed the entire world in plaguing? This guy, Ethan.
It's your DM Tekka Allen. I watched him kill the whole world.
Who is so anxious about all this corona stuff? It's definitely me. It's Norma. So speaking of coronavirus, aka corona or COVID-19, a lot of stuff has been going on recently. How are you guys feeling?
I'm ready for a nice vacation.
Honestly, I'm just
fine.
over it. I'm tired of talking about it. It's a conversation that I have between y'all, between work, between random people. I'm done.
It is so overwhelming. I agree. And why are you coughing?
No reason. I haven't been to Italy.
It's
lately.
just really overwhelming. You're right, Kielyn. It's everywhere. I see it all over my social media, and not to mention so much misinformation being spread on social media.
It is really bad.
I just saw a post on Facebook talking about there's a meme going around or a post about gurgling salt water or vinegar.
Wasn't it like a celebrity that had shared that?
I'm not sure.
So there was in South Korea at a church, they were spraying salt water into people's mouths, thinking that it would cure the disease, and it actually ended up spreading it to 45 more people.
Are you fucking kidding me?
God. No, there was another post. I think it was the same post where the guy, he had said, gargle with salt water, it'll be fine. The more you drink water, it will wash the virus away. It's the dumbest shit I've ever read. When I read it, I was like, this definitely is not true. And then I started seeing more don't believe this post. Even the news fact checked it. No, drinking more water does not prevent coronavirus.
I think the CDC even had to issue a statement telling parents not to let your kids drink chlorine or bleach, or whatever it is.
Yeah, they had to send that to just everybody, not just, because some people were spreading that. Drink bleach and no, bad.
It's Tide Pod all over again.
I had posted it on Facebook, and I was kind of asking people what do you think about the whole bleach thing? And other people were like, we should just let Darwinism play out right now. If they want to drink bleach, let them drink bleach. And it's just so much information is being spread. I mean, what is up with all the toilet paper going missing? People stockpiling on water and food. I mean, going to our local HEBs has been so sad. It's completely wiped out.
This past weekend, I walked into HEB to get stuff for Norma's party, and there's a line all the way into the aisles. I actually got to chatting with the store operator. His name is Rudy. Super nice guy. Talked to him for a brief minute, and I asked him are there any shorter lines or something? And do I have to wait here for ever? He goes, oh, the lines are 15 minutes, but how many items do you got? 24, a few cases of beer and stuff. He's like, oh, well, you can leave those in the cart. Just go through express lane. If they give you a problem, just tell them I sent you. Okay. I went through the express lane. I was in and out, in a jiffy. But those lines, waiting for 15 minutes? Jeez.
I had seen pictures shared of grocery stores completely cleaned out. This is ridiculous. People are preparing it's the hurricane. It's a virus.
The HEBs are starting to open at 8 a.m. And if you get there at 7:30, there's already a line almost wrapped around the entire building.
Oh my God. Well, we have to buy regular groceries this weekend, so I kind of hope that it calms down a little bit.
Well, it looks like it is. I mean, I've seen posts on Nextdoor about it calming down.
It hasn't. But there's a lot of other things going on, especially in the state of Texas. So the governor is waiving the STAR test, which is our state mandatory test that we have every year.
They should get rid of that permanently.
Yeah.
All the
Standardized
teachers
testing
on
sucks.
all the teachers on my Facebook are like, "Yay! It's okay if it doesn't come back." And then spring break's extended, so you have your kiddos for an extra week.
I have a lot of teachers on my Facebook, and what they've actually been doing since all the kids are at home are sharing educational websites and games, museum tours that you can do from your own house. And I think that's great that they're banding together. They're showing everybody, hey, we do still have this collective. You can keep your kids busy at home.
Yeah, Edos's teacher did the same thing. He has an app called AZ Kids where he can like read books, do math, the whole works.
There's another one. It's going around about ABC Mouse. It's like kind of like the same thing, like reading and math things.
Yeah, it's a website. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a Mickey Mouse owned.
Disney overlords.
Yeah, pretty much.
I have a couple of websites that I have to do reviews for and stuff that I'll get y'all a list of before y'all leave tonight for him as well.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, dope.
Just on that real quick, if you watch Frozen 2, you're just like, why are they trying to teach this to kids?
What? Okay, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
It'll all
Sidebar.
be better when I'm grown up. Yeah,
No,
that's a
it's
song.
not.
That's a song.
I think what they're doing is
Wrong.
they're portraying Olaf as an autistic, someone with autism, because he's 3 years old now. He's growing and maturing, and he's even like, Anna, I can't wait till I'm ancient like you and all knowing. But he's asking the questions. Don't you ever worry that nothing is permanent? And he's having like this existential crisis. But when things are going out of control, he's very calm. At one point, there are children sticking ice diamonds in him, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yes, this is what you call controlling what you can when you cannot control anything." And it's kind of, I feel like in a way it's conditioning kids, but I hope it's in a positive way.
Yeah, don't forget about what you can't control,
Yeah.
aka
Mm-hmm.
COVID-19.
He's like, this'll all make sense when I'm older. I'll look back at this and laugh. I don't have to have the answers right now.
That kind of really reminds me of like when bird flu was the thing and H1N1 swine flu, and SARS. It wasn't, to me, I guess I just wasn't paying attention, because it wasn't, I don't remember it being a big deal like COVID is now.
Yeah, well, SARS never made it out of China because it killed off the host too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So, but COVID is seeming to have like a sleeper. It's like a sleeper agent. So it has the scariness of SARS, but with a time delay, So I think that's what why everyone's freaking out. Because if it really is bad as they're saying, there's going to be at least 10 million people dead.
Damn.
That's heavy. That's a lot to process. But, gotta take care of yourselves. That's why
It'll all be better when I'm grown up.
we're out of quarantine.
Eventually. I've been here a month.
I'm almost looking forward to quarantine just so we can get some stuff done around the house.
Yeah, because you guys are doing a lot around here, trying to get it ready to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you guys can't sell.
We had a customer today who was talking about his realtor, and his realtor was like, yeah, this is the best time to buy a house because right now you don't have interest rates if you buy. And I was like, oh, wow, that makes so much sense. Like, can we get a rain check on that?
Can we lock it in now and just renew it every 30 days?
You want to buy a house? We talked about it.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Best time to buy a house when you have terrible credit.
Well, we might be going on a quarantine soon. France is beginning their 15-day lockdown. Supposedly, we're 10 days behind Italy, which is on a national lockdown. Already, our government's implementing like small things, closing restaurants and bars and gyms.
Yeah.
So I don't know who's.
So our secretary at work, her daughter lives in Chicago.
Oh.
And she got a call from her daughter today that said the bus stations are closed, so you can't take a bus out.
Like Greyhound?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So the airport was hard to get to. They were limiting unless it was for business. They closed all bars, gyms, and public gathering places.
I haven't seen any videos of people in airports.
There haven't been any.
I don't think they're letting them through.
Well, I mean, people are traveling for business.
I had an old coworker who just flew back from Europe, and he said that he didn't get tested. He was never swabbed. He pretty much just breezed through and did everything. And then I have another old coworker who's in fucking Dubai right now, doing the sand dunes.
That's kind of cool, but really scary to travel right now.
Yeah, because if you're a U.S. citizen and you're out of the States and they put us on lockdown, you're not allowed back in.
Yeah, that's what happened to, was it Honduras? There was somebody was visiting Honduras, and then Honduras closed their border, and when they wouldn't let anybody out, And when they opened it back up, that's whenever we started talking about closing our own borders. So like, you better get home while you still can.
I don't have any plans to travel or do anything right now. Our whole plan is we're prepared to stay at home for a month, and then like our biggest thing right now is we cut out on all unnecessary expenses, and we're making sure to be like 2 months ahead on our mortgage and get money in the bank to pay bills.
I mean, just as like a good cushion anyway, you should at least try to have 3 months of your bills paid. But there's also, I think you sent us the bill of like relief, right? So what did that entail?
So it's gonna help, but it's gonna be hard for small businesses. So all businesses with 500 or less employees that don't have mandatory sick leave are gonna have to pay sick leave for 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks, if you're still out, they can pay up to 2/3 of your normal salary.
Holy shit.
Wow.
But that means that the company has to pay it, and then they can file for tax rebates from the government to kind of get their money back, to get paid back.
Okay, that makes sense. But can the government actually, does the government have enough funds to do that?
Yes, that's what they passed the bill, and supposedly it's all accounted for in the bill. So right now they're looking at suspending the payroll tax, Social Security tax, and a few other taxes on businesses
Payroll tax, hey.
to help the businesses, to give them the money to pay people for not producing.
Yeah. I think it said it'll take effect in 15 days. But this only goes till the end of 2020.
Yeah, well, so this is going to take... All right, so this bill will be in for 15 days, and then if they need to reevaluate it, it's open-ended. But the for sure end date is December 31st, 2020.
I'm glad that we are talking about these things. I mean, we kind of have to, right? Because people need to get paid and they need to pay their bills. But I'm glad that this administration, as much as I don't really like the current administration, they've responded pretty well to trying to work out things for the people.
And when you take a step back and you see how they've handled everything, it does look like they've tried to calm panic, because they've barely told us anything, and people are already buying out store. Like, if I go to the H-E-B up around the corner, it's 60% empty.
I saw a meme the other day. It was like, and you want to know about aliens? You
Yeah,
don't
right.
deserve to.
That's one thing. A lot of people are blaming the media for inciting a mass panic. And I don't think it's the media. This is the one time I don't think it's
I
the
think
media.
people are just dumb.
I can say that there have been, like, MSNBC, no. Like, everything they talk about is garbage right now. Everything is pointing the finger at Trump.
I don't even pay attention to MSNBC.
Oh, and Fox, everyone's pointing the finger at everyone else. Like,
Well, and that was the thing that the Attorney General of the United States, the Surgeon General, came out and said, media, like straight to all media, stop pointing the finger, stop playing the blame game. We all need to be on the same page, and we need to make sure that the people are getting the information they need, and that we are putting the people first.
but does that really sell?
And then, no, the media right back came, oh, well, they're trying to censor us, and they're telling us we can't talk about Trump or criticize Trump and, like, all this.
I feel like there's a time and a place. So, yes, we can, because, I mean, look at every other leader that we've had and how they've handled any sort of national or international conflict. You know, there's always been criticism towards that role. Fine. Is it more because of Trump? Maybe. You know, it's not, that shouldn't be the topic of conversation right now. The topic of conversation is, how do we stay safe? What should we do? And are we actually following these guidelines?
You know, why I'm not going to hang the hat or, the blame on Trump for any delay or anything. I think he's done the best he can. But if you watched his press conference today, right, where he was addressing the people, if he didn't know, or if he started kind of, if he couldn't answer the question that was asked, without hesitation, he stepped aside, and the professional, whoever it was from the CDC or
Not, I get what you're saying,
No.
but you're right. He
Yeah.
did do that.
Yeah.
he stepped aside and they stepped up. They answered the question. They stepped back. He stepped back in front of the podium.
And then they shook hands. And then later on, like mid press conference, that's when they started doing the elbow thing.
No, but he addressed that too. In his yesterday, not today, but yesterday, he said, "I know I have a bad habit. I don't even think about it, and I need to get out of this habit. You need to get out of this habit."
And I saw another meme that said, like, instead of shaking hands, we should just do the Wakanda salute.
Yes.
I totally want to do that.
I just did it.
How about the?
No.
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 Definitely.
No. You guys, you do not know. You do not want to know what Ethan just did.
He flipped everybody off.
He did.
How dare you throw the bird
I
at
mean, maybe
everyone?
more people need to be flipped off to be put in their place.
I agree with that.
Speaking of asshole people who deserve to be flipped off, Noah Colvin in Tennessee.
Family man.
Yeah, so he's a family man, apparently. Him and his brother.
He's an asshole.
He is an asshole. He stockpiled on hand sanitizer wipes and other things like this, all in Tennessee, drove to Kentucky, cleaned out rural areas, and then started selling them on Amazon and other marketplace sites like that at a severe hike from $8 to $70
Yeah.
for hand sanitizer. That's
Jesus
usually like
Christ.
$2.
I mean, he was selling a 5-ounce bottle for $35. That's pretty
He
fucked
was
up.
yeah. They found one of his listings where a $1 bottle of hand sanitizer was listed for $70.
Fuck that guy.
So people found out about it. They put his ass on blast, and so did the New York Times. Just saying like this is who these people are, and how their warehouse was found was they had uploaded pictures, and those pictures were geotagged with their location. That's how they got their warehouse
Yeah.
site.
So that was the little bit weird situation where the AG went and took his hand sanitizer and donated
So
it.
I think they were basically using public pressure to coerce him into making a donation because he seemed like a giant asshole. But yeah, geotagging was kind of scary. Like,
Yeah.
they can find out that information on you.
Yeah, geotagging is really easy. No one thinks about it. It's already automatically on when you're taking photos. For, standalone cameras, you have to get something to add the geotagging feature. But on every device that we have right now on the table, the 2.9s, the iPhones, they automatically have geotag location on.
My favorite, reaction from the brothers was just like, we weren't doing this to rip people off. We swear.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, bro. You were definitely trying to rip people off.
Guy didn't even apologize for it. He knows what he did is wrong. He's not going to apologize for it. It just goes to show you how much of an asshole he is. But at least the debate was easier to watch.
One of my favorite things from the Bernie Sanders debate was the moderator asked what they were doing to protect themselves because they're both old ass men, white men.
Racist.
76 and 77, right?
And although I have to say, Joe Biden looks way better off than Bernie Sanders. And Biden says, well, I'm fortunate enough to not have any underlying health conditions. Dramatic pause. So unfortunate there.
They both have horrible health conditions.
And then Bernie's like, yeah, I'm washing my hands and I'm using social distancing. And it was just like,
Oh, yeah, and then he went into like you saw me and Biden, we did not shake hands tonight, and we will not be shaking hands.
we did the elbow bump.
Yeah.
It was really awkward.
And don't forget, Biden's running for senator.
I just watching the highlights of the debate, because, last night we watched Frozen 2 instead of the debate, and I just, watching the highlight, I don't know, it really even made it work. Like, the more I hear those two talk, the worse and worse I think the situation gets.
For the DNC. I agree with you.
Yeah.
What were the two old Muppet men?
Oh,
Waldorf and Stanton?
Stanton.
That's who they remind me of because
Yeah.
they're bickering back and forth about everything.
So so Biden, I pulled a Biden right there.
Oh, it's Statler and Waldorf. My bad.
So if y'all want to hear the rest of this, y'all can go check it out on our Patreon, where you can hear all of our thoughts on Joe Biden and his presidential campaign.
the episode will be available soon.
www.officialmillennials.com, and you could click on the Patreon button to take you straight to the Patreon site.
Ooh, fancy.
With all this quarantine, I'll be able to catch up on my streaming.
Ooh, yes, girl. Spyro.
Been a hot minute.
Right? Spyro?
Yeah, my back's been killing me. Being the only streamer.
Fine. I'll stream tomorrow. How's that make you
I
feel?
didn't post a blog today
I mean,
because
you
my
can
alert
ju-
didn't go off because I
You
didn't
can
set
just
one.
stream on your scheduled time that you put in the calendar.
Well, now that's during recording days. Sure, I'll stream right now.
Do it.
This is an official Millennials production.